Hi Falcons, this is Mrs. Lamb, and we are doing lesson 10 today, introducing graphs of proportional relationships. This starts on page 151 in your workbook. Okay, and what we're trying to do today is see how graphs of proportional relationships differ from graphs of non-proportional relationships. So how can we tell the difference just by looking at the graph? So the first one says plot the points 0, 10, 1, 8, 2, 6. These are called ordered pairs, and they're always an X and a Y pair. So you have your input and then you have your output, whatever you put into the equation. So 0, 10, the XY says we're going to go over and then up. So 0, 10 would be right here. And then I'm going to go over 1 and up 8 and put another dot. I'm going to go over 2, up 6, over 3, up 4, and over 4 and up 2. Now, depending on the equation, it may make sense to draw a line between those points. It might not make sense, depending what it is you're talking about. But sometimes we just draw a line to help us see what that relationship is and what it kind of looks like. So if we look at these, what do we notice about this? Well, it appeared to form a straight line, didn't it? Okay, something else that you might see when you're looking at that is that the line seems to go down from left to right. Okay, and maybe you notice that it's kind of like a pattern. For every one we go over, we went down 2. For every one we went over, we went down 2. All right. Okay. Things that you may have noticed on your graph after we draw it and look at it. Okay, so the first activity. Some t-shirts cost $8 each, and they have given us a table. We have X and we have Y. Use the table to answer these questions. What does X represent? Well, if we do Y over X to find our constant, which is what we usually do, right? You would have 8 over 1, which is equal to 8. What would this 8 over 1 be? Well, if we look up here, it's $8 for a shirt. So it's $8 for one shirt. Okay, so then that helps us figure out that X is going to represent our number of t-shirts. And Y represents our total cost. And then it says, is there a proportional relationship between X and Y? Everyone should be able to answer that. Okay, you should have checked 8 over 1 equals 16 over 2 equals 24 over 3. And when you're given a table, you really need to check each scenario and make sure, because if one does not have an equivalent ratio, then it is a non-proportional table. So then we have 32 over 4. These are all equal to 8 so far. I have 40 over 5 and 48 over 6, and yes, they all equal 8. So is it a proportional relationship? Yes. The constant of proportionality was 8. Okay, let's plot the pairs in our coordinate plane. So again, we have the points 1, 8. And I noticed that our increments are going up. There's 5 between 0 and 10, so they're going up by 0.2. Or they're going up by 2. They're counting by 2s on this side. Sorry. Number 2 would be 16. Three is 24. 4 is 32. 5 is 40. And 6 is 48. Should be right before the 50. And again, if I connect these points, what are some things that I notice? Well, we know this was a proportional relationship. So again, we have a straight line. And our line goes through 0, 0. We call that point the origin. So these are the two criteria that you need for a graph of a proportional relationship. Okay, the graph of a proportional relationship is always a straight line, and it goes through 0, 0, or the origin. So now if you look back at this first graph, is it a proportional relationship? Okay, I'm going to show you some other examples here, and we're going to try to determine if these are proportional or not. Now I know it's kind of hard because I'm getting some glare in my camera. I'll try to fix that. I don't know. I don't think I can. Maybe it didn't help. Let's see if we can put some paper under it if that makes a difference. Oh, it's a little better that way. Okay, so here we go. Just leave it. Okay, it says entrance to a state park costs $6 per vehicle, plus $2 per person in the vehicle. One vehicle can seat 6 people. So if you just have one person in the vehicle, it would be the $6 for the vehicle plus the 2 for the person, be $8 total. And if you had 2 people, then it would be the 6 plus 2 times 2, or 4, which is 10. Okay, is this a proportional relationship? Well, here's the graph of this. We have the 0.18 and then the 0.210, the 0.312. Let's look at it. It looks like a straight line, but it has to meet the second condition as well, and it would have to go through 0, 0, and it does not. So this would be a non-proportional relationship. And I can really tell that just from reading this, because my equation is not going to match a proportional equation, because it would be y equals the cost of the vehicle, which is 6, plus we're going to add $2 for each person, which would be my x. So this is not a proportional equation. That is not, and this is not a proportional graph. I think we'll go together. Okay, let me show you another example. Here we have, okay, that's a good place to see it. T-shirts that cost $8 each. We just did this one. So for one T-shirt, it's $8. For two, it is $12, or 16, sorry. For four, it is $32. And if I look at these lines, these points make a straight line, and it looks like it goes through the point 0, 0. So this is a proportional relationship. So I don't have to calculate, in this case, hopefully you know what would be the equation for this relationship. What is the equation for this relationship? I want you to put that in the Edpuzzle. Okay, hopefully you found that the equation is y equals 8x. And I could just look at the graph and see that it's straight and it goes through 0, 0. Okay, one final one for you. Here's a recipe. Uses 2 tablespoons of honey for every 8 cups of flour. Okay, when I look at this, look at the graph. Does it look like it would be a proportional relationship? Does it appear to be a straight line through 0, 0? I can put my straight edge on it and see that yes, it does. And a recipe uses 2 tablespoons of honey for every 8 cups of flour. We've done some examples like this before, right? In a recipe, you want to keep a proportional relationship. What would be the equation in this case? What is the equation when I compare my flour to the cups of honey that I need? The amount of flour to the amount of honey. Okay. Hopefully you found that the equation was y equals 4x. We're looking for that constant. 8 divided by 2 was 4. So y equals 4x on that. All right. One more thing for you. I'll give you 2 different graphs and you tell me if they are proportional or not. Okay, here we can see this one well. Is this a proportional graph? You can try to put a straight edge on it if you want to determine that. And then the next one I have for you, is this a proportional graph? Okay, for your lesson 10 notes for today, introducing graphs of proportional relationships, I want you to draw these 3 different graphs. Graph A is proportional because it does go through the origin and it is a straight line. Graph B is non-proportional because the line curves, and C is non-proportional because it does not go through the origin. It didn't go through 0, 0. So please draw these 3 examples and then you will know what a graph of a proportional relationship should look like.